Hi, and welcome to the Just About G People Development and Training Coaching Series. Today I'm going to be talking about communication. It's one of the areas in life that we really need to be able to master, and we need to understand and be able to work with it because it is such an important aspect of our daily lives, and it is probably the most critical area that we need to be involved in. We need to understand and be able to read people and look at what's going on. So it's highly important that we understand these things. Perhaps the most important aspect of our daily life is that of being a good listener. Now, we quite often find that we love talking, and people sort of will always get involved and they want to answer before they have actually heard what's going on, and they want to get involved in that. The problem that we face is quite often that we're great at talking, but we fail dismally when it comes to listening. Now, very few people actually understand that there's an art to listening. You need to be able to understand what the person is saying and be able to read it and be able to work with it and be able to understand this and get actively involved in it. You need to be a good active listener and be able to understand what is going on, be able to read between the lines and be able to work out what can and what can't be actually meant by what's being said. This area is often neglected because few people think there's any skill in listening. I mean, they're talking, I'm listening, but I'm actually hearing. I'm not actively listening. I'm not actually trying to understand the nuance that's being said. So I need to go into that and understand. When we listen to somebody, we need to be able to listen for a meaning. What are they actually trying to say to us? What are they trying to get across to us? And we need to look into the other people's eyes when they're speaking. We need to make contact with them. They must feel as though they're involved in this process and that we actually have empathy with them. And we must look at their body language. We must cultivate that empathy. And we must avoid making judgments at all costs. And there's a lot of areas that we need to look at, and we run through in our proper course on this, where we start looking and seeing what actually needs to happen and how can we encourage you and work with you to do proper active listening, because it's such an important aspect of your life and has so many bearings on the way things are going to work and how things are going to develop for you that you need to critically understand how to actively listen. We need to make sure in our lives that we're in a place where peace is a priority. We must make a deliberate life choice to protect your mental, emotional, and spiritual state of mind. We need to make sure that when we're communicating things, that people understand this is where we're at, and this is the space we need to be able to grow and develop. When you wish good on others, good things come back to you. This is the law of nature, and we've got to make sure that when we're doing things, that we actually do it in those formats. Now, I live by the 3 H's, so I work with a situation that everything I do must make things healthier for everybody else. It must also make it healthier for me. It must make them happy. When I'm doing things, it must make people happy, and it must make myself happy. And I must be honest about everything I do, and I expect them to be honest back with me. So I live by those 3 H's, and there's a lot in life that we work around the 3 C's, the 3 H's, and there's a lot in life that we need to develop according to that. The importance of listening in any relationship, whether it be at work or whether it be at home, your private life, your family life, whatever it is, cannot be underestimated. It is a critical part of your life. There are 2 different types of listenings: the listening to understand and the listening to just respond. And unfortunately, most people tend to go with the latter. I listen to be able to respond. I need to be able to say something. Those who listen to understand have a greater satisfaction in their life, their normal relationships, than others. So they've found much happier place to be, and they lead a healthier, happier life because they actually actively listen to what's going on, and they partake and they show empathy and they work through it. Well, the people might think that they're listening to understand. What they really do is waiting to respond. So the amount of times that people get halfway through a question or halfway through what they're saying, and the other person's already saying, yeah, but they're already going there. They can answer that one. Hold on a second. And you haven't listened. You need to be able to listen. What is the person actually trying to get through to you? What are the issues? I know that it's difficult, but it's very important if you can try and muster this and work through it. Before you speak, let your words pass 3 checks. Is it true? So are you being honest? Is it necessary? Does the other person need to know this? Is it something that's going to be there? And the third one, is it kind? So don't say something that's going to hurt them or going to cause trouble, or it's a rumor or something else. Make sure that you're working through it and you're actually using the communication to the benefit of the other people and yourselves. And also, don't let other people's behavior or words destroy your inner peace. Make sure that what you've got, you work to keep your peace, you work to keep your sanity and your situation right by choosing the people you work with and the people you deal with in the right way. It's important that people actually understand that they have choices in life. When you actually go into it, active listening is at the heart of every healthy relationship, personal and professional, and the most effective way to bring about growth and change. Active listening means, as the name suggests, that you are actively listening to what is being said, as well as what the underlying messages are and the way it's being given. So that is fully concentrating on what the other person has said, rather than just passively hearing the message of the speaker. Active listening involves listening with all your senses. So it's hell of important that you get involved in it, that you actually understand, and that you show the empathy and that you show the person that you're actually actively involved in the conversation, and that you're showing the empathy for what they're saying to you, and that you understand their concerns and their situation. Thank you for joining us on this Just About Coaching Communication series. And should you want to find out any more about Just About G, please go to our website, justaboutg.co.za. Or if you want to join the Just About G coaching family, go to www.justaboutg.co.za /jacoaching.html. I thank you, and I hope you found this interesting.